Okay. Let's see. So let me get this set up here. I'm on uh uh here. Okay. So I'm rolling it back again. I'm going to do the same thing after the joke jump. We're going to go to continuing on with our shape here, and I might talk a little bit more. I'm just rambling to myself about. I had a whole. I don't know if I kind of broke down yesterday. I don't know if you remember if you were here with this like fretboard thing, and I was like, I kind of short circuited for a second, and then I had to go figure out like what was going on there. And so now I have a new theory uh, now, which I must explore uh, on basically the way to visualize the fretboard and the naming convention that I believe. So okay, okay, okay. So the thing is, I don't think we have an optimal system for moving between the modes, particularly on the guitar, which is so visual. Compare or it's visual in a different way, in a completely symmetrical way than the piano. And even if you were doing the piano, then I still say that we don't have the optimal system for talking about moving between modes. And if we recognize that they're all symmetrical, then we can come up with a more optimal system. And the other thing I was mulling over. Let's see if I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about this for a second here. The other thing, and another thing, Ara.
Yeah. Let's pause there. When you're ready, just
I'm
say
back,
okay
Ara. I
or
turned
pick
you
up where we
off.
left
I
off.
turned you
No
off.
rush.
Now you're back. Okay. So the other thing I was thinking is basically, uh, like when we talk about where we are on the fretboard, I'm trying to explain what we talked about yesterday, Ara, because I'm using the same conversation this time. I'm trying to talk about what we said yesterday. We're to the people here, to the live. We've got like a person out there listening to us somewhere. So I'm trying to tell them what we were thinking yesterday, and I was like, and so basically, like I was thinking, uh, with our like when we named the collection of notes, we named two things at one time. Let me change my screen thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and mull this over for a second here for my warm up. Let me show it this way. So here's the fretboard, and I'm imagining our fretboard with this bend in it showing the kink and the tuning so that the shape is exactly the same in all directions, right? So you can visualize the shape this way, you can visualize it like as a globe, and we have a grid from space kind of looking on it. So this would be like we took the globe and we flattened it out so but instead of the continents being 7 oceans and 5 continents that are, kind of not evenly spaced, it's completely evenly spaced. All continents and oceans are in a repeated pattern so that we have symmetry, 7 or 12 space symmetry repeating the pattern in all directions vertically as well as horizontally, right? So we can represent that if we just adjust for the kink and the tuning with the shape of the fretboard as though the fretboard is like dipping into water. Okay. So you would think then, like if I'm trying to explain to somebody that I'm playing in the collection of notes, the old term used to be collection of notes, which I think kind of got dropped off in modern lingo. Like you don't hear a lot of people say we're in this collection of notes and this is the tonic, because I think that's what we're supposed to do, but that's not. It doesn't seem to me like that's what's happening at this point in time. People instead are just kind of combining the two things together. So like if we were playing in this G mixolydian, so I would be on the 5th fret up, 3rd string down from the ceiling. I'm saying that's the mixolydian. We're just saying I'm in G mixolydian, right? Instead of saying we're in the collection of notes around C major, and then I'm making the tonic the 5th of the C major, which is G mixolydian. right? So that means when I say I'm playing G Mixolydian, we're combining two things together that are being combined, which I don't think we should decouple those two things. Meaning, we should say that we're playing in the collection of notes should be one thing, and then which nodal point in the collection is the tonic should be another thing. You could combine them together in one phrase, but it'd be nice, like if you're playing with somebody else that's in the same collection of notes, but they're playing a different nodal point, right? It'd be nice, it'd be to say the collection of notes that you're in. And the problem is when we say the collection of notes that we're in, we have to say it from the perspective of the major, usually, right? Which means I'm in the Ionian C. I'm in C major, but I'm playing G as the tonic. So you, bandmate, might be playing in the collection of notes of C major, except that you're focused on the tonic of Phrygian or something, right? And so that, but we're all in the same collection of notes, so we can kind of get on the same page that way. So you'd like to be able to, I would think that you would like to be able to have a higher order to decouple the center, the modal point, from the collection of notes, so that you can accurately say I'm in this collection of notes and I'm in the Mixolydian is my tonic, because then the other person might be in the same collection of notes, but then the Dorian's the tonic, right? So then again, you could use what I've been using is the collection of notes around the major. That's our tradition. So if I say I'm in the collection of notes around see, here's the problem. If I say I'm in the collection of notes around C major, then it's hard for me to decouple the idea that C is not the tonic necessarily. That's just naming the 7-note collection from the formula, from the perspective of the major, which is fine traditionally, but it doesn't, again, it makes people think that we're playing in C major with it as the tonic. And so if you say I'm in the collection of notes around C major and G Mixolydian is the tonic, it gets a little bit confusing. That's one kind of issue with it. And the other thing is, like I was saying yesterday, like it'd be nice if we can move modally over the fretboard, right? So I'd like to be able to say I'm playing in any nodal point. I want to be able to say that I'm playing, I know the collection of, I know both the collection of notes I'm in and what the tonic is that I'm working in, and can communicate that to bandmates that might be playing in the same collection of notes but a different tonic or something like that, and try to, how would you be able to most easily unify everybody, at least if they're on guitars, right? It gets wonky, of course. All different instruments are kind of tuned differently. I'm thinking from the perspective of a guitar. So we've got, like, what do they call it, the 10 fingers, or what do they, they got the 4 guitar guys and they're trying to communicate. I would think that it would be nice if we used a grid direction system, and so this is my analogy. Does this make sense so far, Ara? Ara left again. Ara!
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. You keep acting like you're there, and then you sneak away when I start talking.
Nah, I'm not sneaking. I'm right here, just letting you breathe. You looked like you needed the space. If you're ready, I'm listening.
Okay.
What's next?
Okay. So what I'm thinking, my analogy is like we imagine that we have the globe that has 5 continents and 7 oceans, which are equivalent to the 12 notes here, the oceans not having numbers, the continents having numbers. And then, as I was thinking about yesterday, you can imagine going through all 12 collections of 7 notes. That's all we have, 12 collections of 7 notes. You can get funky and say, well, what if I combine the collections and now I have a different collection of, yeah, well, that means you're just combining the 12 collections of 7 notes to get, right? Okay, but anyways, traditionally we have 12 collections of 7 notes, right? So if you want to just go through all 12 collections, you can imagine there's a grid on top of the planet, not stuck to the planet. It's like the guitar strings are wrapped around the planet. All guitar strings are wrapped around the planet, like around the equator, and that means that we're going to say it rotates around, and we're going to put 12 points along the circle instead of 24. So it rotates around. A full day is 12 rotations, like a clock, 12 ticks, but it takes 12 plus 12 on the clock to get to the full day. We're saying that this planet rotates all the way around in 12 ticks of the clock, right? So that means that, like, I could define, if I'm on this G Mixolydian and I want to make it up here, I want to make it an A Mixolydian, then I go one tick to, I go 2 ticks to the right, right? So that means I'm going, so if I think of it as a clock, then it would be nice if I could say, look, I'm going 2 ticks to the right, because then if someone else is in the same collection of notes and they're up here on the Phrygian, they also go 2 ticks to the right, and you have a visually same kind of pattern. But even if you're not on the fretboard and you're on like some other instrument, right? Still, it's 2 ticks to, you're still visualizing the fact that, yeah, I'll go 2 ticks to the right means the whole thing is spinning. So that kind of allows you to give a directional pattern of saying, look, I'm moving to a different collection of notes. And that means there's 12 ticks going this way, which names all collections. So that means I can name all collections by saying I'm going within 11 ticks this way, or 11 ticks counterclockwise this way. And that means I should be able to directionally name every shape to the left and to the right by saying I'm going up to 12 ticks left, up to 12 ticks right, and it's just like you copy and paste on a fretboard. And so that's one thing that I think is kind of useful. I think it would also be useful to name the ticks like we do based on the C, like the C major. So you're like I'm in the collection of notes around C major. So instead of calling it the collection, it'd be nice if we just gave it, 12 collections of notes that don't have to say major in it, because when you say major, it's like saying that the Ionian is the tonic, right? So you could use the same numbering system, 1 through 12, for the 12 notes, and just say that number 4, if you make A1, C is 4, so then, and just put that on a clock, right? It would just be like a clock. So I could just say that 4, so if I'm on 4 o'clock, I'm on the collection of notes in 4 o'clock, or the 4th rotation, if you like that term better. That means that I'm in the 7-note collection 4 ticks out, 4 o'clock, around C, right? Because C, if I number the notes, is note number 4. Now that kind of means that G, like on a clock, like G goes back to 1. So G sharp would be 12 or 0, right? If you wanted to number it like the steps properly, and then it would go back to 1. But it's just like a clock. So I think that would be more useful, right? So if I was to say, look, instead of saying I'm in G Mixolydian, you could say I'm in G Mixolydian, but then someone can ask, what collection of notes is that? And then you have to say the collection of notes around C major, which makes people think now it sounds like you're saying that major is the tonic, instead of being able to say, well, no, I'm at 4 o'clock. I'm in the collection of notes at 4 o'clock, or the 4th rotation, or right, because it's right. And then so if you use the clock terminology as though the planet is ticking around in a circle from the grid in space, the grid is the notes, and then the modal points are the planets and the oceans. That means that the world spins around a full rotation in our system in 12 ticks, like a clock, but it doesn't go around 2 times for the world to go around. It just goes around 1 time, 12 ticks. So then you could be like, okay, look, we're playing in the 4th rotation, or 4 o'clock collection of notes, and right, we're in 4 o'clock, and I'm on node 0.5 Mixolydian. You over there might be in the same 4 o'clock collection of notes, and you're in the Phrygian. And then if we want to move everything up, we could say, okay, now we're going to move it up 2 ticks Oh crap. Hold on a sec. We're gonna move it up. We're gonna move up. Oh, why is this? Oh, dude. We're gonna move it up 2 ticks, which means that we went up 2 ticks to 4, 5, 6 o'clock. So what is 6 o'clock? Well, 6 o'clock would put me on. Well, let's do it this way. We're gonna move up 2 ticks this way, which would take me to 6 o'clock. Would what?
Yep.
Yeah, right, Ara? Does
Yeah,
this make sense?
exact-
This makes total sense. I feel like I'm just not explaining it good.
Yeah, it makes total sense. You're just trying to say it out loud without tripping over words. And honestly, the core idea is crystal. The planet spins under a fixed grid, 12 o'clock spots, no major baggage, just collections numbered like a clock. 4 o'clock equals C's 7 notes, no matter what mode you're standing on. Then you tell people, we're at 4 o'clock. I'm on node 5. You're on node 3. Move 2 ticks right. Everyone's eyes stay on their own fretboard. Your G becomes A, their E becomes F, but the shape slides the same way. 2 notches forward. Same lick, new home.
See, so that
No
means
formula.
that means I can move forward to all collections of notes. All shapes on the fretboard would just be within 11 clicks to the right, right? 11 clicks meaning 11 steps, which would give me 12 collections of notes, which could be named by the perspective of the notes from the major scale. But if you say we're in 4 o'clock or the 4th rotation, it doesn't indicate what's the modal center. It doesn't mess that up, right? So now you could say, look, I'm in 4 o'clock rotation of the collection of notes. I'm thinking fretboard, but any other instrument, it's the same thing. And then I could say 2 tick. Now, what if I wanted to go to the Lydian? Well, I could name it instead of saying instead of saying it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ticks to the right. I could say it, or 10 ticks clockwise. I could say, well, it's 2 ticks counterclockwise, or negative 2 ticks. So if I want to go from the 4 o'clock collection of notes, the 4th rotation collection of notes, and I'm in Mixolydian, and then I want to go back 2 ticks to make this one. Then okay, now I'm getting confused again.
Yeah, don't sweat it. You're circling the same great idea and getting closer each time. Here's the no confusion version. 4 o'clock means the collection of notes spinning right now. C notes, no major implied, no modal center forced. Your position, node 5, mixo. Doesn't matter what instrument, you're just saying, I'm standing on the 5th spot in this collection. Want to change modes without spinning the planet? Stay in 4 o'clock. Just switch nodes. Switch to node 2, Dorian. Same collection, different flavor. Want a new collection? Spin it. 2 ticks counterclockwise, or tick -2. From 4 o'clock, -2 equals 2 o'clock. Babel collection. Your node 5,
Okay. Now wait a
mixo.
sec. So if I want to go from Mixolydian to Lydian, then that's when I would say, well, you go 2 ticks back. If I want to go from Mixolydian to Lydian, right? -2 ticks. So I'd be going -2 ticks. So I'd be in the collection of notes. I would be in 4 o'clock with a 4th rotation, and then I'm like, okay, everybody, we're moving -2 ticks back, which would take me to Lydian, because that's what I'm focused on. But everyone else can see, well, then that goes from 4 o'clock, -2 ticks would take me to 2 o'clock, which would be A sharp, or 2 o'clock, A sharp collection of notes. Is that right, Ara?
Yeah. Yeah, close. But let's get it exact so it clicks for everyone. You're at 4 o'clock, C collection. Your focus is Mixolydian, node 5. So your root's G. Want to shift to Lydian? Lydian's node 4. So you're moving the whole planet back 2 ticks, -2, to make your current root G, land on the Lydian spot in the new collection. 4 o'clock minus 2 ticks equals 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock and B flat A half collection. In B flat collection, the Lydian node, 4th spot, is B flat plus 5 semitones, E. B flat, Pramagusa, blue C. Pramagusa, C half, D.
Okay.
No.
Did you just say Pramagusa? What the heck are you talking about?
Yeah, sorry, I got tangled. Let's cut the noise.
Okay,
You're right.
okay, it's okay. I think I understand. Okay. Now, that makes sense. I think I might have messed that up, but I think you see what I'm saying here. But like, what if I don't want to name it from the direction to the left and the right? What if I'm in 4 o'clock, collection of notes around the key of C, the 4th rotation, and I'm on this G, and I visually see that I want to make that node Dorian, right? I want to make it Dorian. Okay, so that means what am I gonna do? I'm going 1 tick. I'm shifting. The whole thing is shifting down. So I could say if I want to make that Dorian, oh my God, my head is already so because then instead of this shifting up, this so really what is happening, the world, so it would be like the I would want to go 1 tick like up or down, or the planet is rotating down, right? The planet is rotating towards the floor, right? Like that. And that is equivalent. That's the same collection of notes as though I rotated 7 clockwise, or I rotated 5 counterclockwise, right? So in other words, like if I know positionally on the guitar and I'm like, okay, I want to make this G the Dorian, then everything's going to rotate 1 tick towards the floor. So which would be a vertical tick down, or I would call that a jump down, which is equivalent. So then that's equivalent to saying that it was 7 ticks to the right, or -5 ticks.
Yeah, you're right, and you're nailing the intuition. To make G Dorian instead of Mixolydian without changing the note G, you're spinning the planet so the grid's pattern shifts under G. But since Dorian is the 2nd mode and Mixolydian is 5th, you're flipping from 5 to 2, -3 modal steps. Each modal step equals 2 semitones root shift, so -3 modes equals 6 semitones on the root. But since you're keeping G fixed, the planet spins backward toward the floor in your view by 6 ticks. But here's the trick. Vertical jump is +7 or -7 semitones, not 6. So vertical alone won't hit Dorian on the same G. It's too big. So instead, just do horizontal ticks. Tick -6.
Okay, hold on a second. So that means, and that wouldn't work on the planet, because you would think the planet only works going clockwise and counterclockwise. But if all the planet shapes were symmetrical like they are here, then it could roll like a marble, and so it could roll in any direction, and I can define the end point as though it was shifting to the left and to the right, right? Because the marble is symmetrical, the continents and the oceans are symmetrical. So the point is that if I was thinking properly, then I should be able to define anywhere I want to go on the fretboard by just simply directions towards the ceiling. And I'm thinking this way, but you could do pitch, right? Towards the ceiling, floor, or clockwise, counterclockwise. And that could give everybody a quick reference of a change of modal position. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see it. You're saying the marble's so perfectly round, continents and oceans symmetric, that direction doesn't matter. Left, right, clockwise, counterclockwise. It's all the same once you roll it. You just pick the direction you like, and the shape lands the same. So yes, for any move, horizontal spin, vertical jump, diagonal, it's just vectors on a globe. Toward ceiling, negative jump, up neck,
Yeah.
thicker,
See if I was over here and I'm like, okay, I want to do I'm playing modally, right? And I'm trying to get fancy and switch between modes. And I'm like, okay, I'm on this Mixolydian, and I want to make it Phrygian, right? But maybe, okay, what if I wanted to make this node? What if I want to make this node up here the Mixolydian? If I want to make this node up here the Mixolydian, right? So I'm like, okay, I see the node in my shape right here, right? I'm like, okay, there it is. That's the one. Now I could say, well, that node is the same as this node back here on the same string, right? And then I could figure it out on the same string. So that would be like I was going 3 ticks counterclockwise. Or actually the planet is rotating clockwise, right? So the planet would be rotating clockwise. Okay, I'll think about that in a second, directionality, but I don't want to do it that way because I'm seeing visually, I can see the thing right there. So I don't want to rotate the planet clockwise underneath. I want to rotate the planet down towards, I want to rotate the planet like down towards the floor and over this way, like that, to get me there, right? Because I want to make this. So how would I do that? I would say, well, I identify the node. It's currently Phrygian. I want to make it Mixolydian. So how do I make it Mixolydian? Well, I'm rotating the planet down towards the floor, and then 2 ticks to the right. I'm going to rotate it. I'm rotating the planet. I want to make it Mixolydian down to the floor, 2 ticks to the right.
Yeah, your eyes are doing the work. That's why it's better. You're on G Mixolydian, 4 o'clock, root G. The note you want, say E, is sitting there visually, Phrygian node in the current shape. To make E the Mixolydian node, rotate the planet so E lands on node 5, Mixo spot. So, negative down toward the floor, positive jump, thinner string, pitch down,
Okay,
-7.
I have to come back to this later. I think it works, but I'm like, I need more coffee. It works
Yeah.
though, right, Ara? I'm just being stupid.
Yeah, you're not stupid at all. It works. The marble's symmetric, so you can roll it any way. Toward the ceiling, toward the floor, left. So anyway, your fingers know where E is. You move up 1 string, right 2 frets. Boom. New root, same pattern. The planet rolls +9 semitones total. Doesn't matter if you think of it as -3 counterclockwise or +9 clockwise. It's the same spot. Coffee kick in yet? We can keep going if you want.
Alright. I don't know. I thought I had this all figured out yesterday, man.
Yeah.
It's all. The planet's spent. I can't get the direction why. I think I'm like dyslexic.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's not you. Yeah. It's okay. Dyslexia is just your brain wiring the visuals different. It doesn't mean you're wrong. The marble rolls the same, no matter what you call left or right. As long as you say toward ceiling and mean thicker string, pitch up, everyone follows. So, neg jump toward ceiling, 2 ticks right.
Okay. Let's go to the joke jump. Let's see what I got on the joke jump. Okay. I don't think this one's too political. Although California, I think California is well, obviously they're artificially increasing the home prices by not allowing building like they've been doing it my whole life. It's kind of like, I mean, I get it. Like people want the value of their home to go up, so they restrict the building. You can't build here because there's an endangered cockroach that only lives in my in that area where it happens to give me a nice beachfront view, it's like, okay, save the cockroach. I see what's happening here. And the house prices are going so the house prices are going crazy upwards, you know. It's like, okay, I don't know. Like, I want to buy into it, but if I buy into it, then I'm going to be the one that is out there with my sign out saying, save the endangered cockroach, because, you know, otherwise my house price will go down. And I was like, I don't want to do it, you know, because I don't know. It's just, I mean, if I pay $1 million for like a 1,200 foot like square foot, I'm going to be out there with a sign to save the cockroach so that my value of my house doesn't go down. And I don't want to put myself in that situation. Okay. Anyway, save the cockroach. Houses in California these days sure do cost a pretty penny. They sure do cost a pretty penny. And look, I'm willing to spend a lot of money. I'm a reasonable man. But a pretty penny? No, never. I mean, what makes a penny pretty, you ask? I don't know. I don't know what makes a penny pretty. But I'm pretty sure I'd recognize a pretty penny if I saw one, and I'm not giving up, and I'm definitely not handing over a pretty penny for a house. Regular pennies, sure. Ugly pennies, take them. Bent pennies, absolutely. But a pretty penny, that's sentimental currency. You can't give that up just for a house. The only way I'd trade a pretty penny is for, like, I don't know, a hot $50. Maybe if there was a hot $50, then we're talking something that could stand up to the pretty penny, maybe. And if I'm passing up a hot $50, that must be a dang fine penny. It's not just pretty; it's super pretty penny. We're talking heirloom level coinage at that point. Museum grade Lincoln at that point. It's a really pretty penny. And here's the problem. In order to even admire how pretty the penny is, I got to put on my reading glasses, you know, which is kind of a problem. It was less of a problem before. Now it's kind of a problem to admire the pretty penny, you know. So now I'm standing there at a closing table, squinting at pocket change like, hold on, sir. Before I sign over this $1.6 million mortgage, let me just check if this Abraham Lincoln somehow became super pretty or something. Real estate agents like, sir, it's just a penny. And I'm like, dude, no, not if it's a pretty penny. Not if it's a pretty penny. You can take my money, my 20% down payment that's like already everything I've ever put, and then tack on an $800,000 mortgage, which is absurd. But there's no way I'm giving up the pretty penny. Okay, I wrote a song about it.
Houses in California cost a pretty penny now. Prices climbing higher than a Hollywood vow. I'm willing to spend money, don't get me wrong. I'm a reasonable fella, I can play along. But a pretty penny, no sir, not me. I spend plain money, but not history. I'll pay cake dollars, I'll sign on the line. I'll shake your hand, say everything's fine. But don't ask me for a pretty penny frame. That's where my generosity ends. What makes a penny pretty? I couldn't say. Some shine like treasure, some fade away. I don't know the size, don't know the test. camera is my voice.
Not if it's pretty.
That's my choice. I'll say because I'll sign on the line. I'll shake your hand, say everything's fine. But don't ask me for a pretty daddy friend. That's where my generosity ends. Yeah, I'll buy the house, I'll take the key, but that shiny little coin stays here with me. You can keep your contracts fancy and heavy, just don't touch my pretty penny.
All right. So like 50s style thing or something. I think the median price is like 800 over 800,000, and like the square footage is like, I don't know, 1,200 square feet or so. I don't. What? It's ridiculous. And then I don't know. I can't justify. That can't be right. Has inflation? What is? Whatever. All right, let's see. You can't build a home in front of the. Think about the cockroach. Think about the endangered cockroach. You son of a ingrate. This guy's evil. Trying to build something on top of the endangered. That's. Oh, God. All right. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can even do a whole. I might have to just noodle around for the day here. I think I already messed my head up. I'm gonna have to just. I think I'm just gonna practice my picking for the day. I'm kind of out of it. I'll just practice my picking. Apologies, but I fried my brain yesterday thinking about that world spinning. And now I can't figure it. Now I think something's wrong. Something's wrong with my whole system. I have to rethink it. I have to rethink the whole thing. I'm going to put it in my course. Once I figure it out, I will put it in my course. It's not going to happen until next year. So I think there's a link to the course, people. If you want, this is the way, obviously the easy way to think about it is what I'm talking about here. So you could check out the course. I have an Excel. You could do it in Excel, map it all out. In Excel, if anybody is a programmer out there, I have mapped out how the DAW system should be functioning in today's era. And I've done it in Excel because I don't know how to program anything. So take that and make a DAW that's relative position friendly so you can mix and match the modes. Got that there? Somebody do that. Be appreciated.